Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of updates and the such, I usually go about on Twitter X, especially on the live stream stuff. I did manage to do a little bit of live streaming yesterday. I think we are heading to the final boss, and I still have to do some stuff in Jagged Peak without trying to enter into much spoilers there. Yeah, I think in the next live stream I might be able to wrap up the DLC, and then I have the continuing of the base game ending, which I basically at the beginning of Leyndell, capital of Ash. I just in the base game I just defeated Malakev, and I was transferred, teleported, sorry, to Ashen Capital version of Leyndell. We still have to do all of that to wrap up the Elden Ring. And again, like I said yesterday, probably I will start a new game plus again after wrapping up everything. I still need to go to the tombs for the remembered stuff there, so I can duplicate some stuff that, or to try new things from the remembered bosses there. I will have to study that, but when the time comes, I will. It's still ways to go there. Other than that, I will try to get around and publish the Jedi Survivor, but episode. But in the meantime, I will be able to publish the VOD for yesterday's live stream throughout the day. I cannot promise anything without regarding Jedi Survivor. I tried to record an episode, but I didn't pass through to the fight that I'm stuck in, which is being annoying. Probably I have to lower a little bit the difficulty. I don't know how to deal with that. Again, it's one of those when you have a very implementation of the combat, when you try to eat from the both if when you want to make the cake and eat it too, it's a little bit tricky. Because they want to be a very actiony game, but with certain kind of mechanics, Souls-like inspired mechanics, and the way everything cobbles together, especially on this fight. Yeah, the mechanics themselves don't mesh together too well. At least that's my perception. I might be not good at this game, but I've been managing so far, going around and deal with all the bosses except this one, which again I think it has something to do with the part of the boss itself. Certain movement sets that he does, they are not telegraphed, let's say, it's the best word that I can have. I cannot guess which set of moves he's going to do based on what he's trying to get around, which is a different feeling. On a Souls-like game, usually every move set has a particular way of starting that move set, so you can try to avoid or defend or something like that. In this one, maybe it's me, I cannot figure out what kind of different move sets, and the fact that this combat system on Jedi Survivor has the unstoppable thing, which is understandable. There is that on Souls, like when you do kind of an ability or something like that. Usually you cannot get interrupted in a certain way, but then for those things to come in play, usually have a poise system and all that shit, and a stand system that can be broken. And if you manage to broke even with everything that it can, the character can do in terms of abilities and such, it can be interrupted. There is a point that you can do that, which is something that it doesn't happen in this game. For example, when they have the turn red, they do an unstoppable movement, so whatever you're going to try to do, it's not going to help out. So you just need, or to you have to dodge, because you cannot even defend those movements. They will pass you through the defense. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. But yeah, other than that, when I managed to get around and pass that boss in particular, I will probably try on the next recording, try to lower the difficulty there. So maybe it's going to be a little bit more easy, but I think I'm also reaching the final stages of the game, given the story beats and the progression of the story itself seems to we are entering a culmination of the story there, so I don't even know for sure how many episodes there will be left there. But yeah, and in that space I can confirm there is the last episode left, and in the later part of the last episode I will give my thoughts on the game itself. I already recorded that one, which will come up tomorrow, and then I will have to decide which game I'm going to work on. But yeah, other than that, let's go to the news. Similarly, TSMC decides to make a discount on the 7nm pricing and ramp up a little bit the 3nm up by 10%. Again, yeah, AI boom. They are taking advantage of that. The fact that they have I will assume all the fabs are occupied with this process, the 3nm, and the fact that of course, when you have all the demand in the world, you can control a little bit the pricing there. And again, all the customers seems to be okay on increasing the having this price hike by the fact that also let's say Nvidia's and such, they are selling bankbusters. I think to a high degree overpriced server stuff from their grasshoppers and such, or whatever they are called now. The same thing with AMD and other companies. Supposedly Intel is have more in-house chip manufacturing there, but yeah, from TSMC they ramp up a little bit the 3nm cost, but they basically again, because everybody wants the 3nm older technologies, let's say 7nm is not that old. I think Zen 4 launched with 7nm on the chiplet stuff. I think it's the memory is still 7nm manufacturing process. I think it's a combination between 6 and 7, if not mistaken, or something on those lines. But yeah, they are making kind of a discount there because again, lose a little bit of interest there, and the fact that they are, I will assume they are predicting they are doing some constructions of factories in other places besides Taiwan. I think they are going to establish some facilities in Japan. They are focused on things around 7nm and smaller manufacturing process there, which might help a little bit there on the demand problem that they have at this moment in time. Even though again, I think this is kind of a bubble here. It will eventually burst, and if you overestimate the demand on long term regarding this, I think the things can go a little bit on the wrong side. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this will go. But so far, so good for at least TSMC. Samsung also has other stuff regarding 3nm. I think that I think they are getting better yields on that. But yeah, nothing impressive like this, nothing game changer. Again, they are still think there is no final news regarding the especially the on the memory side, the HBMC3, the high bandwidth memory, whatever chips or whatever they are called, the new ones that everybody's using here. Regarding the new stuff for the Nvidia stuff there, that they were having some issues, but yeah, things are going as smoothly as it can be at this moment in time. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, how this will going to reflect by the end, because everything done then is going to trickle down to the GPU DI market to a certain extent. Probably on the 50 series, if not, it's not going to reflect so far as I can see on the launch of the 50 series, but probably on the refresh thing there, because I'm not even sure the 5000 series is going to have anything regarding 3nm. I will assume it's probably between 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. I'm not sure. I completely forgot to check that, but yeah, from my perception, I think we might see maybe on the refresh side something that might affect the prices there. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of games, sorry, we got this new one. I think I covered one of the trailers that pop up here. The game is Nobody Wants to Die. There is now a 10-minute exclusive gameplay. Again, interestingly enough, this game is going to launch on the 17th, but we don't have no PC system requirements. We don't have a lot of fanfare around this game, which is kind of interesting by the fact that this is supposedly from a Polish developer. What it tries to aim here in terms of the setup is 2329 and basically alternative universe where technology has advanced enough to offer humans eternal life. In this universe, humans' memories can be stored in memory banks or transferred between bodies. However, there is an FT price to pay if you want to be able to participate. Basically, it's a little bit the concept. It borrows a little bit from Altered Carbon, which is the Netflix series. I think they had 2 seasons so far, if not mistaken. It's from 2020. Started JUL as the main character there. Well, here on the game they call it the bodies shells, but in Altered Carbon they call the bodies sleeves, I think they called, because you can put different sleeves. I don't know what the concept there to calling that, but the concept is the same. You got something where you can store your answers, let's say, and then you can swap that between bodies. Again, here might be some technical differences here, or how the bodies are made and how they are processed or manufactured, let's say, or engineered. But yeah, I think a little bit in that side, it puts you on the dilemma of the wealthy people can manage to live forever, let's say, theoretically, as long as they are rich, and the poor people are always screwed, probably getting like poor shells with poor quality, always I don't know, with a broken leg or something. There's for sure there is something like that there, and they try to in this universe to introduce a story of kind of noir detective, very Bioshock, at least the first one, very 30s art decor. I think it's how it calls art decor kind of theme around that, like the noir detective story they're trying to implement there with the high tech implementation of certain things. Again, didn't wow me, but it didn't seem like crap. Also, it's Unreal Engine 5. Again, you can see some of the things they're trying to showcase there in terms of reflections and physics and the effects there. But from the mechanics that I saw, nothing impressed me, let's say. But again, it's just a 10-minute exclusive gameplay, which is... It is what it is. I'll wait for reviews, but I think this one is on my wish list just to keep a track on it. We'll have to wait and see the final product. Again, didn't see anything that any kind of red flags per se. But yeah, nothing impressed me also. So we'll have to wait and see when this come out in around a week or so. I think it's the 17th. Yeah, July 17th. There it is. But nothing impressive and nothing like huge red flags so far. It seems like a vanilla game, like very vanilla experience of what to expect from this. I'm not sure if it is the first game that this development studio is doing, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. If it is like a straight by numbers thingy, but it is competent on doing what it needs to do, probably will be playable for some people. Hopefully the game is good and they can make some money to invest on the next project and tune their skills regarding that. And then we got another one. This came late last night that I saw this one, which is called Black Slate. I think it tries to emulate to a certain extent kind of Metal Gear Solid vibes there, especially from the latest one, the Phantom Pain. Again, this is also thinking Unreal Engine 5, if not mistaken. There is a trailer around 3 minutes or so. Again, too much high fidelity. I don't know what they're trying to achieve here. I think it's more of a showcase of kind of a tease what you can do there. But again, it's got a lot of Metal Gear Solid vibes there. At least it seems that he wants to give those vibes. This is from Motion Blur Studio. This is a Turkish development. I never heard of them. Hopefully, it's at least a good tease of next projects that they can work on. If they are a new development studio, again, in terms of graphic fidelity, very impressive, at least from the trailer that they showed us. But again, this is very it's not the definitive footage, but they got a very interesting thing that they showcase here: real-time door mechanics. Experience a groundbreaking feature that allows players to transition seamlessly between levels without the interruption of loading screens. Watch as door opened unexpected and diverse locations, creating dynamic da 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 da. This real-time transition lead to different adventures. Again, I don't know if this is going to be kind of mission-based, and I'm not sure how randomized it is. I don't know if because this seems to have some narrative behind it, so I'm not sure how random it's going to be. I think it's more to trying to surprise the player. They might have because this you have like a room full of doors, kind of the back door on the Matrix when you have Neo trying to figure out which door he needs to go. It's kind of the same thing. And then when you open a door, you have which is going to be like the loading screen is going to be the metro stuff, which is interesting. You just go around 3 or 4 carriages, and then the last door when it opens in a different location. I think here it's like a military base out of nowhere. But supposedly then you can, when you finish the mission or you can abort the mission, something like that, you can go through the same door again, and I will assume return through the metro corridor there, which is going to serve as a crutch for the loading on the next thing. The interesting thing they can do is the loading corridors. I will assume some of them will be like an apartment thingy where you have to maybe descend or go up some stairs here and there or something like that, or maybe enter an apartment too. But I think this will serve as a crutch between loading the proper mission, let's say. But yeah, very interesting. In terms of, again, in terms of graphic fidelity, it seems pretty good. It's just a matter of see how this will fare in terms of the narrative and how the gameplay mechanics are going to serve, because you got several tools here. It's got some close combat quarters thingy, very similar to Metal Gear, the way he goes about it. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Again, this is very grayish. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's this location here, but very grayish, not very colorful here. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to the trailer wraps up with this character here, which supposedly it's a field boss or something like that. But yeah, very interesting to say the least. I will see if I can find on PC via Steam. There is no launch date, so we don't know. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully it can be developed in a pretty good experience compared to, it can be compared to Metal Gear Solid to a certain aspect there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And lastly, we got again more stuff coming from Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Supposedly it definitely implies this game is going to have a lot of pornographic stuff scenes here. Again, this comes to I also pulled this out because it comes in line to a certain degree of what I call what I talked from yesterday on Mary Kinney or something like that. The girl that went from Insomniac to CD Projekt Red as a main narrative, something like that, in the position of senior narrative editor, whatever it is. Yeah, these people they just want to. They just think about, in terms of priorities, sexuality and the roles and the kinks that they desire to put in from their bed sheets to the screen. Basically, that's what they. I don't know. Basically, that's their priority. To put the kinks and the sexual preferences from the bedroom to everybody to see there, which is. Can tell you a lot how their mind works and how they think people should be identified with, which is very interesting to say the least. But again, this is not something that players want. They just want a good RPG. And in the case of what BioWare used to be, Especially with Dragon Age. I think it was a more, again, I think they confuse mature, which is tackling mature themes, with tackling mature sexual themes. And for that you have I don't know. You got the triple X sites and all that jazz, and you got a vast collection of at least seeing different kinds of sexual fantasies if you wish to. But again, as I said, the stories that endure time and space are the ones that tackle human condition. Human condition in the sense like what is the purpose in life, something that every human being can identify with. Um, and yeah, this is not going to be good. Let's say that when your story is about the little dramas of who's hooking up with who and why don't you like me, it's because I'm not good enough, in the sense that I'm not good enough in bed or something, or to do sexual trick, I don't know. This seems to be the drama that they want to, like Big Brother and soap opera things there, which have always poor narrative, poor stories on in terms of motivations of the characters, what they want, what they don't want, how they reflect themselves in the world and all that jazz. Again, this is comes after Wesley LeBlanc, Games Informers, reports that during a playtest of the game's character creator, he was able to adjust female character bust size while viewing her naked. And the quote is basically, we were customizing a female rook, and while adjusting body options, our rook shirts disappears to let us customize things like chest size. Again, in terms of customization, so that I think with Cyberpunk, but I think it was kind of more at the gimmick at the time, but probably not, given the taking in hindsight that customization part of Cyberpunk, and the fact that the things we already know about all the prices of menstrual monthly leaves, paid monthly leaves of menstrual cycles, or whatever they are calling. Yeah, probably was not only like a trick, one trick pony thing there in terms of character customization, like the dong size on the male variants on Cyberpunk. I think it was something that was there. But yeah, continuing this, the game's director, which is basically a man who pretends to be a woman and calls himself Corinne Bush, smiled, like knowing full well that nudity in the character creator means nudity elsewhere in the game, like in Veilguard's romances. Again, even the romances stuff there, it's not something that usually is a priority on RPGs. I think they confuse the role-playing words there, because role-playing is in an RPG, at least on the game, and what it's supposed to be, for example, in Dungeons and Dragons, in the pen and paper stuff, is you role-play as a character in a fantasy world, or in a sci-fi world, whatever it is. You're role-playing another character. You're not role playing a character for sexual purposes there, and I think it's what they been trying to conflate to a certain aspect, the RPG thing. But yeah, this is what we're going to get with Dragon Age. It's not going to be good. As for whether players will be exposed to genitalia, LeBlanc detailed, I'm told that's something BioWare wants to let fans discover from themselves in the game. So basically you're going to get like full on I don't know, anti stuff, because they are basically animated characters, so it's going to be kind of anti, which is porno anime to a certain degree. And yeah, again, this is a mature RPG. Again, they conflate the meaning of words. They just distort whatever it's supposed to mean. A mature RPG is the one that tackles mature themes, and mature themes is not only sexual themes. Mature themes is something like war, the consequences of war, what it does to you physically and mentally, the PTSD issues. They are mature themes, not something that a child can understand or grasp any kind of the idea of it. You have mature themes like what it is to be the head of a family, how you have to deal and manage all the issues, the daily issues, or the big issues, like what is the future, long-term plans. a person that is underage cannot even, at least for my time, you cannot even plan your entire week, because all those little things that pop out and that distract you cannot. You're not mature enough to deal with long-term plans, medium-term plans, and managing a lot of stuff altogether, like managing budgets for your household and all that stuff. These are mature themes. They are not mature in the sense that when you overage, you can now start making all sorts of all kinds of sexual stuff. It's not only that; it's much more. The sexual part is like an afterthought to a certain degree. But yeah, these people, just for them, mature is over 18 and RPG is role playing in the bed. Basically, this is the conclusion that people are basically have to reach regarding these people when they are making games. But yeah, but this person Bush, which is the game director, Corinne Bush, the so-called female game director, informed IGN that there will be spicy sex scenes in the game, heavily implying the inclusion of pornography, which is more hentai than other thing, because this is not like live action. For instances, we saw, and I think this is why they also not invaded, but they are trying to integrate on the games, and I think that's why they made the characters like this, because they can, to a certain degree, can get away with it. Because if it was like real, if there was more realistic approach in terms of graphic fidelity, of making them look like human or persons, I think they couldn't get away with this. In terms of ratings and what they could do, because if they if they put it more in a cartoonish way, let's say, how it is, like Overwatchy, and then you just put some dicks and boobs, and then you put them all over the place, screwing between each other. I think they can get away in terms of rating better. It's like the blood and the thing, the ratings there are completely different. If you have an animated character, it's easier to get away to doing certain things, even in terms of violence, and I will assume in terms of sexuality, than if you have some character that is more realistic in terms of the approach of the design itself. And I think that's why they went for this, because from what I remember, Dragon Age, they tried to be a little bit more in line with being human-like instead of cartoon-like. And I think that's why they are going about this, and they can think at least they can get away with doing more stuff than if it was something more human approach in terms of realism there. But then they go with this. For instance, we saw Harding. I don't know who this is. He might be playing a straight male character flirting with her, but I choose not to pursue a romance. She might get together with us. So my perception, my identity has no hearing on their identities and comes through really strong. Again, this is a jungle mess of words. It's a word salad here. Again, it's little dramas here. They just focusing, especially in this game, on the romantic stuff and how everybody's pansexual and everybody can screw with each other and everybody's going to have big boobs, big dicks and all that shit. I think this is what they focus on basically, because honestly I don't think I heard anything regarding combat gameplay mechanics. Even the UIs with these new games, it's full of shitty stuff here. For an action game, what is this? This is a mess. You cannot even see the enemy properly. Again, I don't know what they're trying to do here with this game. But yeah. And of course, we are an M-rated game. We do have nudity. And continuing, our companions, we want them to be related and fully realized so they can get spicy, but in a way that I think people actually relate to. Not really. Some of them are more spicy than others, just like real life. Our companions have such diverse personalities. Some of them are more physical, more aggressive, so you have some BDSM there. And some of them are more, we have a gentleman necromancer, for instance. He can be more intimate in sexual. So you're going to have corpses fucking each other also, which is going to be very fun. For everybody to have their kinks realized in the game there. But yeah, then the article goes here on the perspective of pornography and religion, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah, basically, I just wanted to catch these quotes and have a reminder that everybody, this is going to be a shit show of a game. Uh, from what I've been seeing, this is just going to be kind of a fest, a sexual fantasy fest for a lot of degenerate people that think that for you to be considered human, you have to display your sexual fantasies and kinks, and to a certain degree, not diseases, but disorders, in the sense that we also heard that one of the, at least I didn't see this much focus now, but there was a time that we saw that maybe they are doing in the without making a lot of waves, but we heard that they were trying to rename pedophiles to how they call it, boy lovers or child or child lovers, something like that, something completely insane, trying to justify pedophile by calling it by another name. But yeah, we got all of this again. You might see some of this here. I don't know. This is going to be very fun indeed. I think that they're going to go bust with this one. This is not going to get good. Again, when you make a product, you have to make the product serve a market. The market is not going to bend to the product. It's never going to happen. And I don't think around 85% or 90% or even 95% of people are waiting for a game like this. I think 95% of the people are waiting to have an experience similar, for example, the one that I'm having with Elden Ring, which that is a mature RPG because it deals with a lot of themes regarding a lot of stuff there. It tries to tackle some psychological things, some to a certain degree, some religious things and worldviews, and in overall sense, there is no naked people fucking around in the woods. There are some kind of even the relationships are not properly romantic. The relationships there are relationships of being loyal to somebody, if being loyal to the end, what that means, and what kind of consequences can have that. And it's not a sexual relationships there. It's other kind of bonds that you can have with people, not only sexual. Here, everybody, if you're not fucking with somebody, you're fucking with somebody else's. Again, it's a degeneracy in that sense. And yeah, I think this game is not going to sell very well. I don't think so. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that. And I'm going to wrap up with some gaming deals. We've got Cult of Lamb. Again, I'm not putting anything on from Steam Summer Sale. You wrap up at the time of the recording in around 5 hours. So between recording and publishing the video, I'm not sure how many minutes or many hours when people see this is already, if probably the summer's the sale already might have finished at the time of publishing. But yeah, on GOG we got a couple of games here. The Cult of Lamb, this is Scenes of the Flesh. This is the standard edition. Then we got the Cultist edition also, but it's 40% off. We got Tomb Raider Game of the Year edition, 80% off. This has got all the DLC associated with it, 80% off, which is a good price. We got Wartales 30% off, which I think is seems a pretty decent game. And then we got Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. This is digital deluxe edition. This is the same edition that I have on Steam, 75% off. And then we got the Wolfenstein stuff. Again, it's been a lot on sale here. We got the 2-pack, which is the Old Blood and the New Order, 75% off. And then you got Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, 85% off. But yeah, basically this is what I got for you today. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. Again, that extra support at this time is more for me to find a better storage solution, for me to have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the things that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.